Hey, what's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing today? Thank you all for coming. Hopefully we'll have a good time today. Don't forget, get those likes up, guys. We're only at 4. We got like 30 people in here. All my OGs not hitting that like button. You know how we got to get it started. Appreciate you guys. What's up, Sadu with the number 1? Okay. Shuba number 2. Okay, that's perfectly fine. Unfreeze says, excuse me. To what? Josiah 3, 4. Yeah, technically 4. Your daily dose of 2020. I appreciate that. I'm glad there's a need for me somewhere in this world other than my wife. This is definitely becoming a thing. Top 10. Hey. Kathy Wood said Bitcoin cannot be stopped. Do you think this is a fair statement? Yes, for the most part. What's up, Skydive? How long is this bull cycle? What's up, Juan? Rick, what's going on? Let's see. Roar Nation, what's up? You made it early. Good to see you, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, guys, let's get into it. Let's see what we got. So, first and foremost, guys, of course, title is appropriate because of what's going on here. If we just take a look at the price action really quick, you can see, or at least when I scheduled the stream 20 minutes ago, we were sitting right about here. And if you zoom out just a little bit, you can see exactly where that puts... Oh, I'm sorry. I think I forgot to put a notification in the Discord group. That's not okay. Hang on one moment. Got to make sure we got all the main supporters here, too. So hang on 1 second. What's going on, Dr. Dre and KT? All right. Oh, this isn't the right group. One moment. What's going on, Jared? Like button now. You already know what it is. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Here we go. In the Discord group, let everybody know we're live now. Cool. Guys, if you want to be a part of the group, by the way, it is not free, but I will just let you know if anyone wants more interaction. I am not frequently... I'm on Twitter when I'm not streaming, but where I'm mostly at, talking about when I'm going to buy, when I'm going to sell, what the best plays are, making sure people are trading the right way, and all of that is in the members-only Discord group. It makes the most sense that I focus the attention on those that are supporting the channel in that way. So if you want to be a part of that group, if you're subscribed to the channel, all you have to do is click the join button next to the subscribe button and become a member of the YouTube channel. And one of the perks of being a member, other than special recognition on stream and all that, and some other discounts like merch, 25% off discounts and all that good stuff, is to be actually in that Discord group. And that's why when I'm not working, or when I am working, if we're ever talking about like when to buy, when to sell, when to execute trades, what thing to look at, whatever, it's going to be there in the Discord group. Twitter is going to be a secondary, and it's a little more rare that you're going to see me like talking about what I'm going to do versus just retweeting news. So just keep that in mind. Would love to have more of you there if that's what you're into, but obviously it is paid, so you can just stay tuned for the live streams here that are free if you like. Anyway, let's roll right into it. So, this is where we sit on Bitcoin, all right? And as we start to look at this, you can see Bitcoin's doing very, very well. All right, Bitcoin, yeah, Preezy, what's going on? Looks like we're right here at the start of the sell-off, potentially. Bitcoin's doing very good. Let me just hide all the drawings here. And if you don't mind, I'm just going to pause the music for a moment, just so I don't distract myself. Bitcoin's doing very good. Now, when you look at the pattern that we've got forming here, and we've basically zoomed out, let's zoom out to the daily, which we don't usually do. As you look here, it looks pretty decent, guys, and there's a couple different ways to look at this. The first way most people were looking at it, which I always said was incorrect, was as a head and shoulders pattern. The thing about head and shoulders, it never looks like this. This little teeny little nub, and then multiple points at the top, and then a little teeny little nub. That is not how head and shoulders work. Whenever you are looking for a pattern, it should be a pattern that everybody can see. It shouldn't be a pattern that people are looking at and questioning, and they're like, oh, well, is that actually a head and shoulders? Or is that just the price action? If you've got too many people not convinced that they're seeing a pattern forming, they're not going to trade off of that pattern, because a lot of people, one, are just not going to see it, and two, they're going to be skeptical that it's it. The way that patterns work, it's kind of like a never-ending circulating effect, right? So you've got people looking at charts for indication. And then those people, they see what they think is an indication of like a buy or sell signal, and so they act off of that signal. And the reason that that's a buy or sell signal is because everyone that's looking at the charts has been trained the same way, and they are all looking for the same things. So they kind of speak it into existence. If everyone, the patterns in themselves don't mean anything. It's what everyone has understood that the patterns will indicate, and then the traders execute based off those patterns that they see. That means that traders, in order for a head and shoulders to play out, they need to see a head and shoulders. They can't be confused about it. So this was not it. All right. Now, if anything, this looked more like a head and shoulders, but even that was kind of sloppy, but that would make more sense, right? That looks a little more defined, even though the shoulder didn't come back up to the first shoulder. Looks a little more defined than this. That was not a head and shoulders. As you just take a look out and stop trying to look into patterns too much, basically what you see is a bull run, a pullback, some consolidation, and a descending form pattern here, a bit of a descending triangle, and then a break out the top side of that descending triangle. Sorry if I made that too small there. A break out the top side of that descending triangle, and now a multi-legged run up. Preezy sent a good video in our Discord chat, which was basically, and I'll unpause just for the moment. It was basically just an analyst, experienced crypto stock analyst, talking about whether or not he thought we were in the bull market or the bear market as of now. And basically his answer was, to sum it up, was he does not know. And here, that's the thing across the board. At this moment in time, guys, we don't know if we are in a continuation of the bull run here or if we are switching to a bear run. Because at the end of the day, this was a pullback, but it stopped. It stopped, and now we have a bounce. The way that we determine whether or not we're back in a continuation of the bull run or if we're switching for good to a bear run here is what happens next. Because all we've had so far was the run up and a pullback. That doesn't tell you anything. What you need to see then is, off of the pullback, off the bounce, do we then make a higher high? If we do, that would obviously be a continuation of the bull run. If we don't, and we stop here and stall out and then make a lower low, then you have a downtrend. All right, and that's just basic technical analysis. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. And let's delete a lot of these lines, guys, because they won't be relevant. Even if we do have a market crash, we can always just redraw them. At the moment, these guys are not relevant whatsoever. We are way away from 28,000 and even 30s. So let's just delete, honestly, all of them. Start from scratch here. Always clean up your chart, by the way. Never leave a whole lot of lines and indicators up. It is just going to give you information that too much information is bad information. All right, so let's draw this out here. Two different scenarios. We start from here. We have a move up. We have a pullback. We have this portion of a move up. Now, if this is an upward trend, you're going to see a bounce up to here. You're going to see a pullback, making a higher low than here, right? And just constant continuation. How can I zoom out of this without canceling everything? Continuous moves up, right? This is a bullish run. And then your trend channel is going to indicate an upward trajectory. Now, it's not going to do it, it's going to indicate an upward trajectory, continuing. And you can see you'll have your support line established. And so let's just draw that out. Maybe this will be the support line going all the way up. And so you get continuous moves up, right? We're uptrending here. Higher highs, higher lows. That's the bullish perspective. And so that is to be determined. Along the way, obviously, you're going to have little pullbacks, tests of support, 210 level EMA, 20, 50, 100, whatever indicators people have up, there's going to be certain people buying and selling when their indicators are giving them signals they think mean buy or sell. So there's going to be pullbacks and burst moves up. But overall, summarizing on something like the daily or the weekly, this is what we're talking about. Or even a stronger move up. It doesn't have to, it could be steeper than that, right? We could go a little more parabolic. It doesn't matter. Could be something like that. Who knows? Who cares? All right. That's the bullish perspective. That is to be determined because at this moment, we've only done the pullback and we are only now in the bounce off the pullback. We need to see where is this pullback going to stop, and then where is it going to retrace to on the where's the bounce going to stop and where's the pullback then going to retrace to. The other scenario would be, let's just say it stalls out, it makes a lower low. So it makes, let's just say we have a nice little bullish run, not a bull run, because usually that's talking long term, but we have a bullish run, and let's just say we go up to 57,000. And then we stall out there and we don't come back. All right. So then we start ranging our way down, and then over time we kind of, ups and downs, obviously. But long story short, we then make a lower low. At that point, now we're not in an overall uptrend. We've started to make lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. So now we're in a downtrend, a continuation of this pattern, right? So just looking at this right here does not tell us enough. It does not tell us enough about what's going to happen next. And that's why you have to say, technicals aside, and even me being a technical analysis based trader, technicals aside, since we don't have enough information to say anything off of technicals, except for potential stopping points as we continue up or potential stopping points on the pullback, we don't know if it's going to continue that way or that way at the end of the day. So technicals aside, what other things can we look at that can give us an idea of what might happen next? So we leave technical analysis and we start venturing into fundamental analysis and then gauging the social sentiment out there as far as how people feel. What are their emotions right now on Bitcoin? And that can help complete the puzzle and give us an answer to that question. And even still, it gets a little bit tricky. But because of being in that scenario, guys, that's why over these last couple days, even over this last week or so, week and a half, I've just been a little on the fence regarding like telling people that I think the price is going to continue up or go down, because there's like a 50-50 split of good news and bad news for cryptocurrency right now. And I think for that reason, I mean, this could either be the beginning of a very slow continuation up, and then it's going to break out above once we hit a certain level and people feel more confident, or we're going to see, we're seeing this very slow, skeptical move up because it's going to stall out. And once it stalls out, people are going to take profit, and that will be the bounce before the dump, before the continuation of the sell-off. You know what I mean? So I still think at this point in time, even though we're seeing nice bullish momentum, whales buying in long, a couple whales buying in short, and we're seeing, look at all this trading volume, look at these big candles compared to these. Obviously, volume's picked up. Way more movement in these by day, here, compared to the last month before that. Obviously, we've had volume pick up. But what happens next? And here's what I mean. So there's a lot of things to be considered when it comes to news. So we've got all of these good catalysts for Bitcoin. We've got adoption now. AMC just announced yesterday, in case you guys didn't hear it in their earnings call, I believe that's what it was, that they were going to start accepting Bitcoin as a method of payment. Doesn't matter for AMC, but that's great news for Bitcoin. That's another large business, another large corporation that is now taking Bitcoin seriously and is actually going to be accepting them for payment in addition to the US dollar. And what we talked about all the time is anytime you're dealing with a retail payment focused coin, Dogecoin, XRP, Bitcoin, whatever it may be, it doesn't provide network services. It doesn't provide layer 2 solution problem solving. It's not a DeFi app like that. It is a coin, an asset, a digital asset that stores value. It is worth what the number says. That is it. Its main catalyst is more people being on the same page in that regard, saying, yes, we recognize the value of a Bitcoin, a digital coin that you can't hold, each one being worth $46,000. We'll recognize that as well, and we'll actually accept it as payment. The more people on board, the more solidified that Bitcoin becomes as a method of payment, of currency, the more comfortable people feel holding it, using it, because it becomes more valuable to more people, and that's what drives the price up. In addition to other things that Bitcoin has in the coding, the halving event, whatever, okay? We already know about all that. So that's a big catalyst for Bitcoin, and it's had multiple of those. We've got El Salvador accepting it as legal tender now, so it could be like the dollar or the Bitcoin, and that's pretty huge. We've got plenty of other announcements about Bitcoin being accepted as a method of payment here just over the last couple weeks. Tons of places. And what really sparked the bull run here, right here, was the rumor that Amazon, one of the largest, if not the largest e-commerce store in the world, is now accepting, or is planning, according to the rumor, to accept Bitcoin as payment, as a method of payment by the end of the year. And that's what really sparked the bull run here. Okay, so all these positive catalysts, but the main spark was that rumor. And that's what concerns me a bit, because if that rumor turns out to not be true, what the main spark is now dead. And we already saw what quickly started to happen when that main spark began getting disproved. Massive red candles as fear entered, and people were like, oh, we bought in for nothing, and they started to sell. So all this good news, with the main catalyst being the rumor that is unconfirmed. Bit concerning. Now let's flip to the bad news. What is the bad news that could be holding Bitcoin back and that is potentially holding this run up? Because at this point, you probably would have expected, as I would have, if this was a legit breakout, we would be moving way faster towards 50,000 right now. It's been days and days and days, a very slow move up, slow grind. That just tells you not everybody's on the same page, and there's still a lot of people that are skeptical. So what is some of the bad news? Well, we're starting to hear all this FUD, fear, uncertainty, and demand and doubt being spread in the news about these ransomware attacks, these hacks, all of this stuff on cryptocurrency. We've got the government cracking down on cryptocurrency, making it sound like it's such a bad thing. And then even now, and that's just a quick summary, by the way. Obviously, there's details, but we talked about it before, so I won't spend too much time on it. But one of the main things now is the cryptocurrency regulations in the United States that could single-handedly, at least for the short to medium term time frame, kind of destroy crypto. And just in case you're not familiar, guys, with what I'm talking about is in the infrastructure bill that was just discussed by the Senate and is now being moved to the House of Representatives to discuss and potentially pass on to the president to sign. There's an infrastructure package that, fix highways, bridges, whatever, transportation, but they threw in there, also we've been needing to do some cryptocurrency regulations, so let's just throw those regulations in along with the bill, get those passed at the same time. The regulations would classify developers, miners, and similarly validators or stakers that validate, would require them to give full transaction reports and report those as if they were a broker or an exchange. Now, as you know, due to the decentralized nature of cryptocurrency and the way mining works, you basically set your computer up to just authorize some numbers. You're not looking at people's names and their socials and their address and all that stuff. It is not like that. So that means it's physically impossible to be a validator, miner, or a software developer and have access to the information needed to report, which means that if that bill is passed, the same thing would happen in the United States that happened over in China, where basically it's a crackdown that basically says, like, unless you figure it out, you can't do it, and it's not going to be figured out. It's not possible, and it defeats the purpose. So mining would end up needing to be moved overseas. So all the mining in the United States, billions worth of dollars of, companies. There's mining specific focused companies that have mining farms. There's individuals, probably some of you in this chat, that run your own mining rigs, whether it's off your personal PC or using an ASIC. And then there's also what was going to be validators with a lot of these proof of stake network solutions like Ethereum 2.0, which is the big talk, and et cetera, which makes being a validator or a miner way more accessible to more people because you don't have to buy these big rigs. It's just how much you invest is how much return you'll get back. To briefly summarize, you won't even be able to be a validator in the United States. It'll be illegal. And so that's going to single-handedly destroy the price of some of these cryptos. Bitcoin for one, and even Ethereum for another, and anything else that, because the mining community in the entire United States will be done until that can be amended. Now, they are, and here's the flip side to that, they are aware that the verbiage in that regulation does not make sense. They did try to amend it, but the amendment to that was refuted, and the bill still got passed by the Senate. It is now moving to the House as is. As is. So that means if it gets to the House of Representatives and they pass the bill as is, that crackdown will happen. Now, there's going to be, I believe that's on August 23rd is when the House reviews the bill. So there is still 2 weeks here, about 2 weeks, for price action to do whatever the heck it wants for potential, hey, what's going on, Chazmandu? For potential whales, big money, market manipulators, whatever, to boost the price up, get it prepared for them if they know that they're most likely going to have to get out before the crash. So here's my conspiracy theory. All right, and it's nothing more than that, so don't think much more into it. I feel like they know that there's a high chance this bill gets passed as is, and that the price will inevitably, absolutely crash to the floor if that bill gets passed until further notice, until they can correct it. And so they're probably supporting the price right now and inflating it a bit to encourage retail traders to continue bumping the price up higher, 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 which will increase their profits, obviously, because they're miners. They have tons of coins, and they also have positions, right? And then they will dump at a specific point, most likely all at once or very close together, but before the bill gets passed. That's my guess. And we know how market manipulation works, so it's very, very possible that could be why we're seeing just a very odd, slow grind up, to be followed by, whenever they decide, maybe that's at 50, maybe it's at 55, a sell-off for them to take their profit. And then the retails that FOMO'd in as it was going up here, they get lost. They're holding the bag and they have to either hold it all the way down or sell, whatever. Doesn't money, the big money will be out. And then they'll move overseas, and then the price will reestablish itself, kind of like what happened with China once they figured out where to relocate to. That's my guess. Just a conspiracy, but we'll see. Conspiracy theory. But either way, guys, it's a problem for sure, and it's something that needs to be considered. And that's why I have just been very, very careful with my investment here over the last couple days, because even just a couple days ago was the Senate hearing, and I didn't feel comfortable then. And I'm just like, well, should we even buy in when we don't know what's going to happen? But the big thing is going to be on the 23rd. So got to keep an eye out for that. But that's bad news in itself. Then we've also got a potential catalyst here for Bitcoin. When will Elon Musk drop the suspension? I feel like now, knowing there's going to be regulation on crypto, potentially that could hinder a lot of people making their announcements. Because what state is cryptocurrency going to be in when these guys decide to accept it as payment? The thing is, you don't want to start accepting something as payment when it's crashing to the floor. That just sounds like a really bad idea, especially when you have a lot of shareholders that are going to be spooked by that. Because keep this in mind. Let's just say Tesla, for example, they care so much about their earnings, their balance sheet, everything. And that's what the shareholders are super sensitive about. How much money is this company, this early startup, basically, that we invested in? How well is it going to do? When will they become profitable? How will they become more profitable? How will I see a return on my investment? By Tesla then taking the risk to accept Bitcoin back as a method of payment when Bitcoin's in a position where it could potentially crash down to the floor, that would say, let's just say 1 month from now, Elon says, all right, we'll take you guys back, and Bitcoin's here at 52,000. And then right around that time is also when regulation kicks in and the US says, all right, no more mining, basically, is what that regulation will say. And the price dumps down and it ends up down here in the 20s. Basically, any Bitcoin transactions that Tesla took up here, their income has been sliced in half, because now a Bitcoin is worth half of what it was. It's just a very risky time to start accepting cryptocurrency, Bitcoin in particular, as payment. And I feel like this regulation, because for that reason, could push back a lot of acceptance. That's Bitcoin for Tesla, and that's Dogecoin for Tesla too, which is obviously a problem for us. And even Ethereum, if they were going to venture into that, though they haven't talked about it, I wouldn't rule that out either. So there's a lot of problems that this infrastructure thing can cause. The plus side to that, and I know I'm talking a lot, but no one's typing, so maybe you're finding this interesting. The plus side to that is that even if the bill gets passed, it can still be taken to court, high court or whatever, Supreme Court, whichever one. The verbiage can be like taken to court and disputed, and they can look to just still, after the bill's passed, amend that portion of the bill. I did read that. So it's not like once the bill's passed, it's going to be like that forever. You can rest assured that there's going to be plenty of people willing to go to court and try and fight that, because that's just kind of, unless the government was just very specific and knew what they were doing. But the whole argument here is that they had no idea what they were talking about, and so that was just miswording. So that's kind of the scenario we're in. I think we will see maybe some more run up here. I would not be surprised. So if you're scalping, if you're looking to just take advantage of short moves, as long as you're looking at your chart frequently, I don't see any problem with making your buys. Obviously, you want to make them at technically correct spots and not just buy in the middle of nowhere. You want to make sure you're near support, confirm support, and that you're not doing FOMO stuff, right? Obviously. But buying at Doge 27, 28 and hoping we get to 30, so be it. But don't just do that if you're looking to take sections, kind of scalp or day trade, and you don't plan at looking at your chart, because you can get burned at any moment by a massive sell-off. We are getting high up there, and it's pretty obvious that we haven't seen real breakout momentum quite yet. So that's a little bit concerning, in my opinion. It just seems like, if anything, we're just getting overextended here for potential massive pullback. So just keep that in mind. There's a lot to consider here, but at the same time, we can't ignore the facts here. That's that Bitcoin is doing very well. It did just get slowed down here at this resistance level right around 46,000, which is what we talked about. There was resistance between like 46 and 47 here. As you can see, that's where the next kind of candles found their support, right around 48. So we do still have to get above 48. I think if we break above 48, we might see some extra volume kick in, some extra FOMO buys, because then we really do kind of have room up to like 52, and that's a pretty big gap. And then if we can get above like 52, 53, then we're back up heading towards 60. So I say 48 and then 53 are kind of the two numbers we need to look at. But we're doing good right here at this particular spot. Let's just draw a horizontal line. See the resistance there? And you can see we've kind of crossed above it, pulled back, crossed above it again, and now we're trying to hold it as support. And if we can hold it as support, we'll probably do another leg up. But I will say we've had a lot of up movement here, which is bullish, but it kind of makes you wonder when's the big correction going to happen of a couple $1,000s before it does the next leg up, because usually it doesn't just keep going. You see a bigger pullback, kind of like this one, and then a continuation. So we'll see. I don't think really anyone should be overly bearish or overly bullish right now. It's one of those things where there's just simply no way to know. There's too much conflicting information. There's too much conflicting news, and the price action is conflicting as well. So either buy and hold and don't look at your chart for a while, or just play it day by day. That's really the only recommendations out there, because even analysts out there that do this for a living are like, well, we just need to wait and see. So take that with some importance. Once the bill is amended, we will break out, Manny says. Yes, absolutely. The amendment did fail, though. So unless it gets amended somehow at the House of Representatives, it's going to pass as is. We'll probably start a market crash, and then we'll have to wait for the court, for it to be taken to court and then amended afterward. And that would be post-crash. So we'll see. But it's too late for the Senate amendment. They already rejected that. Bobby says, did you ever put in a position? Where did you get in? I have not put in a Doge position. I don't really talk about too much when I have an Ethereum position, guys, because I don't even have one full ETH. All right, so when Ethereum goes up 2%, it doesn't really matter. I might have made $20, right? So a lot of times when I don't really want a Doge position, I'll switch from Dogecoin, the volatile one, over to Ethereum so that I can trade options on the platform that I use for that. But yeah, whenever I really have a position in Ethereum, I don't really consider myself being in because movement doesn't do too much to my position size. It's only like a grand and a half, so half an ETH. I know I missed some of your comments, guys. Hopefully I'll be able to catch all of them. Best solution, and Chaz says, Chaz Mandu, I read that people are hoarding coins, not many selling. Shortage of coins. Thoughts? I haven't heard that. I don't know. If there was a shortage of coins, usually that drives demand up pretty hard. And I don't know. I saw a lot of shorting going on too, so I don't know. I don't know. I haven't really seen Bitcoin have a coin shortage before, so. Once the bill is, yeah, I read that. And so no, I don't have a position in Dogecoin right now, guys. So if you guys are familiar with what happened, I had my primarily holding account with Dogecoin, and then I had my scalping account that was in ACH. I took some profits on ACH, but while I was in ACH, I did also want to scalp Dogecoin while I was on stream because I got a little bored. So I cut low, and then I bought low, and I bought low, and then I sold at 28. Then I bought at 26, and then I sold at 27, and I haven't bought back in since then. I already scalped out like 5 cents worth of loss. So me getting back in at 28, I'm basically getting in like I never even sold in the first place. And technically, I could wait a little longer than that even, since I made some profit. What are my thoughts about the Golden Cross coming? I'm not too into the Golden Cross thing. I mean, that's happened before. We saw some bullish hype off of it, but I know it's a positive technical signal. I keep my stuff very, very, very simple, guys. Very simple. I rarely look in. I am a technical-based trader, but it is rare that I start looking into a whole lot of different technicals. I look at the ones that are the absolute most important. Now, by all means, I can throw another EMA up here and start looking for more stuff, but I like to see what is the most obvious stuff that not just me, but like everyone else could possibly be seeing. That's kind of the only things I like to go by. That way I don't psych myself out. All right, so let's just... And it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with looking for that stuff. It's not my style anymore. I used to be that way, but it was too much. And I think we already had that cross right here, so that should be done already. We had that golden cross right here. But I mean, these indicators, they are good. I mean, you can really load up your indicator chart if you really want to. Let's just throw the 10 and the 20 up there for, why not? You could say, oh, looks like we're riding up the 10 EMA right here. Oh, look at that. But it doesn't really matter. Because overall, without the indicators here, I'm still looking at, well, obviously we're very high up. It's a risky buy, but we're looking at support here at this level that we've tested. That's kind of all that matters. I don't care about the EMA. The lower the time frame on the EMA, the weaker it is. Keep that in mind. Is there a set date on Doge update? No, but we'll talk about that in a sec. Thanks for reminding me, James. What's my prediction on ADA price at the moment? Smart contract hasn't came yet to it. I have mixed feelings. Ethereum is the market leader by far here. It's going to take one of the competitors real big, something massive. Smart contracts is going to be the biggest thing for it because it can't compete with Ethereum without smart contracts. It needs DeFi apps. It is what it is. It is basically, to me, not even a network without smart contracts. Ethereum's whole thing is having all of these different smart contract-driven apps. And a lot of those apps are things that we are looking to invest in. So until that will come to ADA, to me, it's not even a competitor. That being said, once it comes, it will probably skyrocket in price because that'd be massive, and then Ethereum would really have to to beware because it'll have competition. Doctor says, just joined. Am I in yet? No, I'm not. No one, I don't think it's bad at all to swing trade ETH Classic. ETH Classic has seemed to be pretty volatile recently. I don't think it's bad to swing trade anything. I only think it's bad to invest in something if it isn't worth investing in. But I don't ever think it's a bad idea to swing trade, day trade, whatever, any cryptocurrency, as long as you know what you're getting into and you play it accordingly. Even something like that seems like a scam coin or something. Not like a rug pull, but I just mean like a junk coin that's probably not really worth anything. As long as you go in with the right position size and the right expectations and you have your risk management, I don't think it matters. You just have to, whatever trading style you decide to take up, you need to trade that asset accordingly based off what it is. 200 coins, I'm selling all, buying, you're tripping on taxes, I'm milking them pretty bad. Nice. No, ETH Classic is solid. I don't think there's any problem with that. ADA 10 to 20, 20 is best case. Yeah, that is right. So do I believe Doge will not go up above 28 without a price drop? No, not necessarily. I think Doge can go to 30. Doge can even go 32, 33, 34, 35. I can't really give you a price that Dogecoin will stop at, because Dogecoin is going to keep rolling while Bitcoin keeps rolling. And you can see Bitcoin, even at this high level, it's finding support here. Right? It's finding support and it's looking to do another leg up. That's the way things are looking right now. We are still in a bullish continuation right now. And it's not over till it's over. So I can't say Dogecoin's done. Dogecoin could absolutely roll up another couple cents. All I'm saying, be careful. Don't FOMO buy in. Still, use your smaller time frames, make technically correct entries. And if you're going to start buying in at 28, 29 cents, obviously, at this point, if you really wanted to be doing that, you should have been in way sooner. So at this point, it is now way more risky. And so you need to trade accordingly. You need to have your stop losses set, have your trading plan, and make sure you're looking at the charts frequently so that you don't end up waking up the next morning to a 10-cent drop or something. But no, Dogecoin could definitely go above 28 if Bitcoin makes another leg up here. Now, okay. Yeah, but the thing with Ethereum, it really needs ETH2. The gas fees are getting way too high. I shared this with you guys on stream yesterday, or 2 days ago, rather. I didn't stream yesterday. I shared this with you guys 2 days ago. But I was trying to do an option trade with my platform that I use that is based off the Ethereum network. And to execute my transaction, the mining fee was $130. That was not the cost of anything except for the mining fee to allow my sell to go through. $130 to sell on the network. That was the mining fee. On the cheaper end, I could have waited 45 minutes for my transaction to go through and paid a lower fee of $86. That is absolutely absurd. We're talking about Dogecoin transaction fees, guys, being lowered down to like 1 cent or 0.01 Doge, right? We're talking about, that's what we want. 0.01 Doge, which would be, like what, less than a cent? Meanwhile, Ethereum's transaction fees are $100 per. 1 cent versus $100. Now, obviously, it's not apples to apples, but I'm just saying, that doesn't make any sense at all. And if Ethereum keeps that up for too long and Cardano really gets its stuff together, Cardano is definitely going to give Ethereum a run for its money, because I, for one, would be doing anything I possibly could to not use the Ethereum network with fees like that. That is just miners ripping off retails. I expect the infrastructure bill to pass. I have to wait until the House markup. If they amend, yep, so we should pull back no matter what, but whether or not we go back up is not clear yet. Yeah, exactly. So the bill will most likely pass, guys, and it will probably pass as is. So that's what I'm saying here. That's why I've been super skeptical and super careful over the last couple days. First, with the Senate hearing, I did not want to be going long when I knew there was a chance that the amendment would get rejected. Did not want to be doing that. And it did get rejected. So now I really don't want to just YOLO go long here when I know in about 2 weeks they're going to probably pass the bill and cryptocurrency is going to dump, right? I don't want to be in for the dump. That's why I'm saying if you want to trade here, I would be looking for shorter term trades where you're keeping a very, very, very close eye on your charts. Lower time frame, 3 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, and making sure you're not getting caught in the massive sell-off. Because in my opinion, big money can't be this dumb to be continuing to buy up Bitcoin right now at $46,000 without some master plan behind it. Like, if I'm a hedge fund and I know it's about to be game over for mining in the United States, and even if it's temporary, just a little 2 + 2 = 4 type math, I understand that there's probably going to be a price crash. Why would I be putting in millions and millions and millions of dollars at Bitcoin 46,000 and up? That would not make any sense at all. That's what retail traders do. They have no idea what they're doing. So, yeah. So for that reason, I start to feel like this could just be a bit of market manipulation where they just put in enough to keep the market just bumping up, slow grinding up. More retailers are just buying in, FOMO buying into like the last minute. And that way, the big money can dump their positions way up high when the time comes, when they've decided that time is. And that way they maximize their profit before Bitcoin goes to crap. But then, it's kind of inevitable that there will be an amendment to that verbiage unless the government really just wanted crypto to fail in general and they are not interested. It was very intentional. But I don't think that's the case. So I think then there will be another recovery. But I feel like the scenario we're going to see here, this is just my guess, here, dump, and then that turned into like an inverse situation where then we rock it off and continue the bull run. It's my guess. Hey, what's up, Josiah? Making the money? Glad to hear it. Okay, so now let's talk about the Doge update really briefly. Drink some coffee here. So Dogecoin 1.14.4. Sorry, work. Dogecoin update 1.14.4, guys. That is the update we need to be looking for the Dogecoin transaction fees. Now we're kind of going into some positive catalysts for Dogecoin. And this could be a situation where Dogecoin's market cap potentially could end up getting up there closer to third place, second place, first place. Not saying obviously that would obviously take a whole lot to beat Bitcoin. But I'm just saying this could be the scenario that ends up playing out that gets us into a better spot on the market cap list. Bitcoin tanking into oblivion with Dogecoin getting very good catalyst fundamentally and things maybe being figured out for Dogecoin a little bit faster. Anyway, here it goes. So talked to lead Dogecoin dev today in his stream. Nothing special. All right, I just asked some questions. And basically what's going on, they've decided to put the Dogecoin transaction fee update out sooner. Okay, it was, I believe, originally going to be put out in update 1.21, which is not the next update. Right now, I believe we're running on a version of Dogecoin 1.14. And in an update to this version called 1.14.4, there is going to be the inclusion of the transaction fee reduction for Dogecoin. All right, the reason for doing that, I asked him, like, which one is it going out in? I'm confused. He's like, it's going out in 1.14, the next update coming here before 1.21. And the reason for that is to get the update out sooner. Because if they packaged it into 1.21, even though 1.21 is pretty much done, you still have to go through all the testing phase and everything, and so that could really delay the update getting out to the people in a timely fashion here. Because even though, let's just say most of the legwork is done for 1.21, you still have to go back and forth with the devs, roundtable, take a look at all the code, make sure everything looks good, then discuss, like, is this how we want to push it out, or do we want to add something else or take something away? If there's any changes that get decided to be made to the current update, being 1.21, then you have to do all the coding for that, test it again, revisit. And so even though it's technically like done, that could still take another month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever, depending on how much back and forth ended up happening. So instead, they're going to kind of push it in like a hot update to current. As far as timing on that is concerned, obviously, as a developer, the most foolish thing you can do is give an ETA unless there is a firm deadline. So they're not going to be doing that. But some hints that he did give today on stream was basically, he said he doesn't know exactly. It still needs to, be reviewed and briefly just tested. He said that could be, it could be Friday. It could be, or, next month. He wasn't exactly sure. But that does give you an idea of how close that the short-term update is to being kind of pushed out. He said he's going to take these next couple days to just not stream and focus completely on coding and like finishing everything, and then roll into the release notes for 1.14. And then after that, it's just a matter of, it could be any day now. So Dogecoin transaction fee update coming very, very soon. Very, very soon. Now, the thing is, mining for Dogecoin is not as popular as mining for Bitcoin. So even with that crypto regulation, and the developers, by the way, like Ross himself, a lot of them are not US based. He's in like the UK, and he said they would be trying to steer away from getting too much involvement into the United States right now with Dogecoin, because of the regulation that's going to come soon that they're well aware of. So they are trying to stay overseas. That's why they even did the Dogecoin Dev Fund and hosted it in another country, because they didn't want to get too involved with the US with the regulations. So they're aware of what's to come. All right, and that should tell you something. The Dogecoin devs are well aware of what's about to happen. But, sorry, I just ate an M&M. That was a really bad idea. Now I can't stop chewing. But, Bitcoin mining, very important. Dogecoin mining, not that important. Regulation comes, Bitcoin goes to absolute crap. Dogecoin gets an update, which helps hold the price up. And Dogecoin mining is also less important. Price does better than Bitcoin does. Maybe we see a little flipperoo and attention there. Off of Bitcoin and onto Dogecoin. That's my guess. Anyway, that's the update on Dogecoin. Yes. And if you do enter a position, guys, do not all in at a high price. The more risky your price that you're entering in, the more money you should have set aside to average down, because the higher chance it is that you're wrong about entering at the right time, and the further down there is to go. So if you're buying in at 28 cents and you're going 100% all in at once, you're doing it wrong. And so don't get mad when your account goes red. To the moon. Do I really think it's going to tank? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Have your fun now before it's too late. That's all I'm saying. Make your money on the going long now before it is too late. I think in probably the week approaching the House hearing and decision, you know, that week going into it, that's going to probably start the downtrend in anticipation, and then maybe with an announcement of regulation passed as is, dump. So House hearings on the 23rd. That is in about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. So I'd say we probably have maybe 7 days tops of positive momentum here. I think by Thursday the 19th, things start to, if they have not already, things start pulling back. And then the closer we get to that Monday, probably even starting on, you know, Thursday, Friday, the 19th and 20th, we start seeing the market dump. Primarily Bitcoin, but Bitcoin's the market leader in the regulations for all cryptocurrency, so probably everything. Yeah, exactly, Preezy. This is Dogecoin's chance. If it can play everything right, maybe Dogecoin, this is the way that Dogecoin becomes the #1 crypto. Bitcoin to $3,000 and Dogecoin to $5. Let's see it happen. Yeah, and I'm not joking about that transaction fee, Invu. It was absolutely ridiculous. I couldn't even get myself to execute the trade. Like $130 to buy a put, which was a couple $100 itself. Just to authorize the transaction on the network was $130. I'm like, what? Giving me crypto.com vibes. I know I kind of skimmed through comments, guys. I really wanted to provide the information a little more today versus the focus on reading everything. But if you have any questions still that I didn't answer or I skipped and you still want the answer, just re-ask if you don't mind. Driver Burn song, Tesla X. Okay, I'll check that out, Travis. Cam Vlog, Golden Cross is usually just the crossover of two EMAs. Two larger time frame EMAs, like the 150. What's the price to sell and take some profits? Anywhere. It depends on where you bought, honestly. In my opinion, whenever you place a buy order, you should already be thinking about, well, where do I want to place my sell? Every trade should be thought out with like, well, what am I going into this expecting? What do I want out of it? So if I'm buying at 28, where do I think is probably going to slow down? And based off that, where do I think I want to take profit? If I feel like I'm buying in at 28, but the resistance is looking like it's 29, and that's the most probable spot that it reverses, maybe I don't even want to buy, because that's just very, very low risk to reward. I mean, very high risk to low reward. So it just depends on where you bought in. Yeah, $100 is too much. ACH is crazy volatile. ACH went down to 0.7. Now it's up to 12. Yeah, I saw it down to 0.78 this morning. And I wish I had just bought in for that scalp. But it was kind of making lower lows. And I didn't want to be investing in it on the downtrend, if that makes sense. Because 0.78 was a new low. So it just made me too uncomfortable to buy. Because I didn't know, like, is it going to stop there? Is that the actual bottom? Originally at 3 cents. Wow. If your average is 3 cents, I wouldn't even bother. Well, maybe just consider taking profit anytime before the 23rd. Like, if we start pulling back hard down towards, like, back towards, like, 24, 23, maybe then at some point before the 23rd, look for a sell and just see what happens. But, I mean, a 3 cent averages is so great. I would wish I could recommend to just hold that all the way through. But we just don't know what's going to happen to cryptocurrency. Like, I don't think any of us can say we know what's really going to happen to cryptocurrency after regulation like that goes through. I think we're going to have a couple dark days. So, I think a lot of people are probably just going to close their positions and just say, hey, I want to play it safe. I don't know what this crash is going to look like. And for that reason, I don't want to be kind of the test dummy in that scenario. So there could be a nasty sell-off. And then just look for a re-entry once better news comes or the sell-off stops. But probably just anywhere I think in 20 cents would be great profit for you. But you can definitely just kind of wait it out and see. As long as you're selling somewhere in the 20s, I think that's cool. If you sold at, let's just say 21 cents minimum, you're 7xing your investment, which is still great. But by that time, that would be Bitcoin to like 42K, 41K again. So you'd probably have a good idea if things were going down. Price prediction of Doge after fee update and are institutions waiting on the fee reduction to accept it, like Tesla. Price prediction on Doge after the fee update, it'll probably bump up like, I don't know, 5 to 10 cents, 10 max after the update pretty quickly. I think 5 cents is more reasonable. And yes, institutions would be waiting on that fee. You never really want to go all in on a thing that's still like in the development stage. Dogecoin, in my opinion, is still really early in the dev stage. I mean, we're getting this transaction fee update, and then down the line, we're supposed to be getting a transaction speed update. And then we also have the Doge Ethereum bridge, which can add even more variables to the situation. And it's just, as a big company, do you really want to be getting in with the things like in its alpha stage, or do you want to wait? So I think definitely this update here, and maybe even 1.21 would be a better time for something like Tesla to jump in. Maybe not this update, but the one right after. And after that, kind of sky's the limit. But you have a 20-cent average. So, all right, I just don't want to sell too soon and it go back up. Well, here's the thing. Maybe, yeah, you have a great average, and selling too soon is never fun. All right. So I guess what I'd say here, it really depends on the type of trader you are, because if you're someone that looks at the chart often and you don't mind executing trades often, then you wouldn't really mind taking profit, like let's just say now, not knowing what's going to happen next, and then just waiting it out over the next 2 weeks. That's not a bad idea either, because if you lock in now, you've made, what is that? 9x your initial investment by selling at Dogecoin 28 cents, which is pretty freaking massive. Almost 9x, more closer to like 8x. That's a pretty big profit, man. And then you could come back and see what happens later. But if you're going to be mad if it pulls back here and takes off and does another, 6, 7, 8 cents here, it's just no way to tell you what it's going to do or not. There's too many variables, and either thing's possible. So I understand, but that's always the risk of cutting a trade. Like, you just don't know if it's going to keep going up. There's no way to be 100% there. So I don't think now is a bad time to just sell and wait till later, in my honest opinion. Just while you're still up that much. Because, I mean, you could sell now, or you could take the chance of selling, like, in a couple days if Dogecoin ends up at 32, 33, wait another 5 cents. Or you can just not sell at all and wait it out and see what happens in, like, a week. Now, you might end up, by waiting, you might end up selling out at, like, let's just say 22 cents or 21 cents instead of being able to sell out now at, like, 27. But that is just going to be the risk you take. Me personally, I sold the first time it hit 28, and I said I'm just going to wait. That was my decision. Now, if we get into this obvious part 2 of a bullish run here and Bitcoin just starts breaking up at high momentum, yeah, I might jump back in. But unless something crazy happens here, I'm just watching. Chosen, yeah, I don't know if I should sell before the news. I have a 20-cent average. In that case, that's just kind of more up to you, because you're not locking in a whole lot of profit here. It's like 5, 6 cents. But I would assume with the news, the price is going to sell off pretty hard. So that one's completely up to you, man. It's either like, do you want to lock in 6 cents? Do you want to wait, see if it goes a couple cents higher to have a higher, like, make it more worth your even taking the position? Or do you just want to wait it out, see how bad it ends up being, and if it comes back down to you, just break even before you lose money? That's a you thing there. None of those options are wrong. Yeah, you don't have to like completely sell out either. You can sell and just take your initial investment out and just have profits on the table. That's one strategy. You know what I mean? So if let's just say you put in $300 and now you're up and you've got like $3,000, just take your $300 investment out and then just have profits out there. So your capital is the only thing being messed with the price movement. Or, lock in half, do a percentage sell. Hopefully Elon tweets something after the Doge update. Yeah, we'll see. I just haven't been able to watch the charts close enough and I end up missing buy and sell points. Yeah, I understand. I will say, in my honest opinion, we're not going to get too much higher before the 23rd. I don't think Dogecoin to like 40 cents is happening. So what's the highest we end up? Probably mid-30s if Bitcoin moves up to like 50K. Maybe 34, 35. It's not that much further up. So, but I also don't want to just tell you to, hey, you should sell and the price go up 8 cents. That should be a decision you make. But I'm just saying, I don't think there's much more room to go up here before we have a pretty gloomy day on the 23rd. And then we'll just have to play it by ear at that point. Maybe they figure out an amendment on that day. I don't think so, though. It's not the way it's sounding. 50K, says Invu. By the way, guys, don't forget, if you have not already, click subscribe. Make sure you lock the channel in so you can come back for tomorrow's live stream. Because we are going to wrap up here in a couple minutes. But yeah, we're definitely getting close to good news here. You think you'll wait if it starts dumping, sell at like 22? Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, I don't like telling people what they should do. There's just too many variables, and unless something's very, very obvious, guys, you'll notice that whether it's in the Discord group or if it's here on stream, I'll stay very quiet in regards to giving people suggestions. Because when there's not anything clear, it is all up to people's emotions at that moment. A random tweet, it could just be a 51 to 49 split bullish to bearish scenario where more people feel like buying than selling, and so it just happens to go up, and it's just not a very technically strong indication to where it makes sense for me to be giving advice on what you should do there. So unless something seems obvious, like we're probably going to reject off 46 and dump back down to 37, I give those a lot too. But if it's not obvious, I'm not going to say what to do, but I'll give you your best options. Because half the problem is not always knowing what to do, but knowing like what are my options, what are the correct things that I can do in this scenario, and kind of planning that out. Hey, what's going on, Matt's Market? Thanks for hanging out. Any update on the stickers coming to the HODL shop? Yeah, we're actually working on that now. Thanks for the suggestion. Appreciate it. I'm just new to crypto trading in general, and I completely understand. Trust me. Trust me. It's nice to see people like Matt Wallace, not the Matt from Matt's Market. Matt Wallace being more realistic recently and giving more negative streams, just so people, because it's not cool to keep misleading the Doge community. I've seen a lot of people, and on Twitter too, it's kind of become this clout chase thing where people are they're doing everything for Dogecoin, for followers. And yeah, it's just a really cringy dynamic in the Dogecoin community in certain areas. And I know cringy was not probably the right best word to use when describing something cringy, because that word itself can be. But a lot of misleading, pumping, and just saying stuff to get people's attention. I don't like it too much. Let's see. Josiah says, thank you, my man. Appreciate all you do. Appreciate that. How are the shirts coming? They're going good. So I'm getting them ordered today, actually. And I'll hit you with a link so you can order them on your end. And then it should just be a couple days. They'll get here in a couple days because I got to custom order them. Obviously, I don't have those colors that we talked about. They'll be getting here in a couple days. That day I'll have them made, and then they'll get shipped out. Okay, I'm out. Gotta get stuff done. Thanks again, Mariano. Make that money, y'all. Appreciate that, Skydive. Thanks for hanging out, and have a good evening. And she always leaves right when I'm about to leave. I don't know how that happens every single time. Yeah, Bill goes to the house. That's right. August 23rd. What's up, Jerry? Hello, Ray. Any other questions for me, guys, before we wrap up? We didn't have a stream yesterday. It was a little... If you follow me on Twitter, you saw my update, or if you're in the Discord group, obviously we're already talking. So, hoping to get the sports shirts. Yeah, I'll get those for you too. The thing is, I was looking at those, and they were the brand I wanted was sold out. So I got to figure out another decent brand. But yeah, I'll get those for you. But yeah, no stream yesterday because even though I try and stream every day, guys, if it's dead and there's really nothing to talk about, I'm not gonna like waste you guys' time just to loop you guys in for a stream and have nothing to talk about. And so that kind of opportunity I usually will take as my maybe one day off to recoup and do some research. And that was yesterday. We weren't really doing much, just slowly grinding up. What are we looking at for the bill? So August 23rd, the bill has already been passed by the Senate to go to the House. Go stream tomorrow. The bill has already passed the Senate, not amended. So that means with the regulations that would kind of destroy cryptocurrency. Wow. Yeah, that is a big red candle. That is a massive red candle. What's going on there? Yep. We'll check Twitter, make sure we didn't miss an announcement just now. Whoa. Yeah, that looks a little manipulated. Not manipulated, but like it's definitely some whale activity. So let's see what's going on here. That's cool. Let's check Bitcoin Magazine. See, look at like all these good catalysts, guys. We've got so MicroStrategy buys $1 billion of Bitcoin. Right? This is all good stuff, but we've got too much bad news looming. And imagine if those big money buys, they decide to sell. Whew. Right, I don't see anything there. Yeah, that's a pretty big sell-off, guys. From 28 all the way down to 26. Bitcoin, wow. What a big sell-off. What about ETH? ETH took the hit as well. It's crazy. I'm just trying to see what it could have been. I don't know. So whale short $14 million. Oh, I should have considered the whale trade. Okay, so that'll probably bounce back if it was just a whale. Where's it at? Look at this. 3 minutes ago, $11 million short, 3 minutes ago. Look at all these shorts. Jeez. Millions and millions and millions of dollars short. Crazy. Yeah, a lot of people going short right now. Right when I'm about to turn off the stream, the price always dumps. Yeah, as soon as I get some spare time, guys, I just dump. I go 20 mil short every day. What a massive, massive dump that caused. Cool. Exciting. Not really cool, but entertaining. Why is Doge going down? It's just because someone shorted Bitcoin, apparently. Sorry about that, studio. Doesn't look like that was what you wanted to see. How to get into the Discord group. So if you've subscribed to the channel already, all you got to do is click the join button next to it and become a member of the channel. Once you do that, I send you a link to the group. Hey, appreciate that, Matt. I'll see if I can come check you out later on. I scared the market. I knew it was, yeah. Chaz Mandu says I knew it. Explains a lot of things, right? And don't forget, guys, check out the website. It's at the top of the description, myhodleware.com. If you would like to check out some cool Dogecoin apparel like you've seen rotating above my head and like I have on right now. And if you join the members-only Discord group by becoming a member of the channel, you get 25% off everything. Any and everything. So there's some other perks. All right, guys, but I think that's probably going to do it. Looks like I've answered pretty much all the questions here, so that's awesome. If you're new to the stream, thank you for hanging out. Don't forget, click subscribe. Lock in this channel for tomorrow because I will be back live, unless it's completely and absolutely dead, in which case maybe we'll skip, but that's very rare. Preezy the Wizard. But thank you all so much for the support. Glad to have all like 60 of you here. It's great to have that many people. And yeah, follow me on Twitter if you want some more updates. But I'll really just catch you guys tomorrow. That's the way it's looking. You bought in a couple mil at that 3 cents. Oh, wow. Hey, man. If you got that large position size, you might want to lock that in. Each cent matters. I don't know. I wouldn't want to risk too much. That's a lot of money, man. So, but the thing is, you got to make a decision, right? Got to make a decision, and then you have to tell yourself, I'm going to make this decision, and no matter what happens next, I'm going to be okay with it. When you don't tell yourself that, and you just make the decision, and you haven't pep talked to yourself first, that is how you leave the door open to FOMO, and then you end up re-entering, and then at the wrong time, because you FOMO bought in, and then you bought in, it took off, you buy in high, it starts selling off, and you're like, well, surely I didn't just buy at the top. You hold it, it goes down like 10 cents, you lost half your profit. So no matter what you do, think it through, and then just say, all right, well, here's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to be fine with whatever happens next. And if things start looking good again, I'm going to have this plan to get back in. I'm not just going to randomly get back in. 10 million long just now? Oh, of course. Oh, just joking. Oh. Wait, you're the whale? Austin's the whale, guys. Wait, if you're the whale, maybe you'll consider joining the Discord group. I'm just playing. All right, guys. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Have a great evening. Thanks again for the support. And one final reminder, subscribe to the channel if you have not. It only takes like 2 seconds. All right, have a good evening, guys. See you.